Okay, so welcome everyone to the Board of Ethics. So this is a regular scheduled meeting for January 20, 2017, and it's a little after 9 a.m. What time? 10:40. Thank you everybody for coming in on Friday and plowing through this today. So roll call.
Ted Carlson is excused. Terry Kelly.
Here.
David Nesbitt.
Here.
Becky Wynn.
Here.
Also present is Dee Ennis, Deputy Municipal Attorney. Lisa Slusner, Deputy Municipal Clerk, and you have a quorum.
Is Lisa going to show up in a little bit?
Yes.
Okay. Lisa Toussaint. What I propose doing before we approve the agenda is to move 6 to the bottom of, to after 8. That way we can just finish all of the administrative stuff from the regular meeting administration, and then we can move, and then jump into our unfinished business with the ethics review. Is anyone opposed to doing that? Hearing no opposition, we'll move it to, so 6 will follow 8. And any other comments before approval of the agenda? Hearing nothing, we'll move on to the minutes of the previous meeting. Any comments on the minutes from the meetings or the meeting from November 10, 2016? Do people need time, or can I just kind of cruise through here? Hearing nothing, I'll just keep cruising. Okay, hearing nothing on November 10, how about November 17? You can tell I've been spending my entire...
Wait 2 minutes,
Yeah.
let us quickly zip through it.
Sure. You can tell I've been sitting in grand jury all week. Seeing no hands, we'll move on to the next one. Seeing no hands, we'll move on to the... Have you been in grand jury at all?
No.
Have you done any grand juries?
No,
You never
I'm
a prosecutor, were you?
And a like administrative law attorney. I never go to court.
Oh, yeah.
Never
No.
ever done a jury trial.
When I was a prosecutor, I probably presented hundreds of grand jury, and so it's all coming back to me because I haven't done it in a while. And anyway, okay,
The drafting minutes are easy. You guys
Yep.
go into
Mhm.
deliberative and you come out.
Back
you come out.
No.
Okay, so we're reviewing November 17. Any comments on 17? No. How about January 5? Again, we're kind of coming in and out of executive or deliberative, right? All right, so move to approve the minutes from the previous 3 meetings. Any objection? Deep breath from Mr. Kelly.
Just for the January 5
Yeah,
meeting? Oh, so I guess it's a drafting meeting? So is that the,
Yes.
'cause
That's
there's
correct.
No quorum, right? So there,
Yeah.
that's right.
it can't technically be a meeting, so, but it's a drafting meeting?
Yeah.
It was a
Quorum?
drafting, it was a special
Okay,
meeting.
fine.
Yeah, we actually discussed that at the time.
Yeah, and
I
that's
think.
why I always put that up there. And I
Yeah.
noticed them that way too.
Right, good catch. Hearing no objection, those will be approved. Now we'll go to the consent agenda. Where are we at?
Green tab.
Forms, none. I like that. Exceptions, let's see. Oh no, one, gift exception. Gifts,
Everything bold we have, so.
everything bold. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're on to gifts. Should have looked at these before.
And that's your green tab.
Yeah. And what I propose doing is just going through, if one catches your eye, then we can take it up.
Well, the very first one, we
Parents?
think it is parents.
His parents is plural, right?
Well,
So,
could it be the husband, wife?
oh,
Of 50 students.
of 50
Oh,
students.
50, oh, I'm sorry.
And
I
they're-
thought, I thought
very
this was
pro-
south.
Like that's
South
a
students.
big
Active
family.
parents.
Okay.
Right.
Reality TV.
And it looks like
Probably need that.
Okay.
parents.
Okay.
So Brent Ramsey,
A group of 44 parents.
Wow.
Ramsey.
yeah, Ramsey.
So Ramsey should receive a letter.
He should get the letter.
Hayes.
It's 2 families, it looks like.
Yeah, but it looks like daughter's
Oh.
teacher.
Daughters, yep, could be.
So I assume they
different
just have
names.
different last names. Is there a way to follow up to make sure that those aren't 2 families?
Yes.
If it's not, then they should probably get a letter. Oh, the next thing is the same.
Same thing.
Same thing.
What's Monster Wash?
That's a car wash
Yeah.
on Diamond. Kids love
It
it.
is an interesting gift, right?
Is
Yeah.
it really fun for kids?
Well, it's got a big mural on the front, and it's
Oh.
kind of bright purple, and it's got a dog wash next to it, and that's where it's right down the street from our house. So
I was gonna say, you know
I've been
a
there.
lot.
I've been
I know
there.
more about monster
Actually,
walking.
I know.
I take my children too.
Oh yeah, been there
Okay.
before. Okay. Christmas gift for classroom.
But it's from a
That's not
former
practicum
active
student. I don't think that's an issue, right?
I think that's.
Oh,
okay.
UAA?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that should. Right.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, maybe
Okay.
a current student, a current student.
Okay. Anything else from that section? No. Then we'll go to
Purple.
purple. Conflict of interests. Excuse me.
Mhm.
Put that like in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you do the same thing as Smith.
Like going
Missing.
from outside to inside.
Yeah, that's-
is like.
The Travis, I think we're missing the Travis Harrington disclosure statement form.
Yeah.
I've got Brianna Sullivan.
Okay. Yeah. All we have is Whiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got waiting statements, we can copy the actual form.
Um,
We'll have to just bring it back, because I'll have to,
Yeah.
ask them to send it.
Okay.
okay. As far as Brianna,
Sullivan seems okay to me.
Yeah.
so that's fine.
She's a substitute teacher or something. so
Perfect.
I think we're-
So just bring the one Harrington back, and then the other one's okay. Let's see, where are we at? Let's see,
Orange,
Orange, present
economic.
interest.
and I'm sorry, you have asked me if I would go through these, but I had no idea that they would accumulate like they did, and
Mm.
I've just been so busy. And it's
Okay.
really not that thick. It looks like it's thick, but ignore this yellow. These are those exceptions that we've been holding on.
Okay.
It's only this thick.
So what would you like to do?
Just flip down one at a time.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. I thought you were gonna ask to put it up.
No.
Just do it, yeah.
Does Scott Boney legitimately never have anything that comes before the building board? I'm-
Do you know,
Yeah.
who is he?
He's
Scott?
on the building board of examiners and appeals, and he's an architect.
Oh, he's an architect?
Like, I kind of, like, it's sort of like any, I mean, I don't have any object issue with the thing, but I feel like in terms of definition of how the boxes they check, couldn't he conceivably be working on a project that would come before the building board of examiners and appeals? Maybe he just never does these days, you know? I don't need to. I was just curious, cause I mean, like anybody on the planning commission who works in development, like they might come before, and anybody, pretty much everybody on the building board, to my knowledge,
Right.
could conceivably come before the building board, cause they're all builders and architects and engineers and.
We'll just have to
Did we
rely
ever-
on.
Did we ever finish that advice letter that says that's something?
No, we
that's-
put all of that on hold until
Okay.
after the
Mm.
rewrite.
Okay, okay.
Because
Mm.
will
'Cause
we
that would
even
be what- 'cause
have
that's
these
probably what we should do for
annually
those.
after the rewrite? We won't have an annual disclosure.
Well, actually, we haven't put that in, but that's a good point.
Cause
It's only on acquisition.
it'll just be, yeah,
It's when you first get appointed, you have to do one of these, and then if you acquire an interest.
right.
So we won't have
We
this
won't have this
huge
annual by
system.
February 15 thing.
I'm looking at Brett Jocola.
Me too, yes.
Okay, because he's our head of our AWU, and now he's been appointed to the Solid Waste and Recycling Advisory Commission. My guess is it's a code requirement, but
Mm.
I need to look at it.
Okay, okay. Is that Ken Ayers? Spinelli? Right.
I have to say, Becky, I thought you know, I'm saying this on the record, I thought it was very interesting to have Don McClintock on the Board of Adjustment.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think that he has tons of stuff there, I just don't know.
I think he's opted out. Like, I realized that I was chatted with him and another friend of mine who used to practice at Burchart and Bittner and Terrell, and I guess I think he's kind of done doing appeals to the Board of Adjustment, so he's been,
Really?
he's been
Wow.
telling clients he's conflicted out and referring them out to other people,
Wow.
cause you're right,
Really?
he used to do, I mean,
Oh,
of the people in town who
He
do
was-
land use
he was
appeals,
it,
it's like
yeah.
Well, he just
Don-
got reappointed to the Board of Adjustment,
Yeah.
but there
Oh.
is this whole thing where they disclose any potential conflicts, and he's been eliminated from a panel because they hear in 3 members only. So
Oh,
they have
yeah.
5 members, but they only have to use 3 members for a hearing.
But I imagine not arguing in front of them at this point, like, cause be representing clients who are appealing
No,
to
he
them,
could-
right? Yeah,
he couldn't do both, yeah.
And he used to do that, a decent body of that is my understanding.
so remind me again that letter we were gonna draft, that we're putting off till after the rewrite. We were gonna draft an advisory letter for people who had potential
Who are probably
conflicts.
gonna have some conflicts
Right.
along the way, and it just sort of reminds them, this is what the code requires you
Right.
to do, and here's the standards that, you know, the idea was to send it to the member and to the chair of the board or commission, saying, by the way, you've got someone who has all these potential conflicts, and here's the process that you should go through.
And you actually
Yeah.
have a draft that we just
Because
got
for
a
some of them, we
paperclip
did
on
send
right
it, right?
now.
We had one person, we
Right.
sent it last year,
Did
we
we
said, okay,
send
we're gonna
that-
make this a generic letter, and.
Yeah.
Was that Mark Stewart who he looks like he's disclosing again, he's the surveyor, he's on the planning board.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the people we wanted to send it to. I don't know if we ever did.
It does seem like something we should send generally, cause I mean, honestly, functionally, my understanding, like, the conflict that Mark Stewart has, I can't imagine, again, looking at, we got another building board disclosure in here, right? Tyler.
Mhm. There's a couple of people
I
in
shook my
here
head
who-
no, but I actually meant, he was one of ours, we picked people out to send that letter specially to.
Oh,
No.
Mhm. Cause we should probably send one to
Do it
Mr.
again?
Ayers.
Ayers, I missed that one.
Ayers is gonna have one.
Okay.
Spinelli, I mean, obviously,
Spinelli.
Spinelli's
yeah.
gonna need one too.
And Seward. Again.
And by the way, some other conflict of interest issue came up last week, and it got routed through the ombudsman, who then contacted me and said, what kind of training are you guys doing for the boards? And I said, well, actually, we're gonna do an interactive video, we think, as soon as this rewrite is done, and he was thrilled.
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
He said, man, you guys have it together.
I
Oh,
mean, it seems
Brandon.
to me like we should maybe do everybody on, I mean, it's like, looking at these, it seems like everybody on ZBA,
Right.
everybody on planning and zoning,
Right.
everybody on the building board has the potential. I mean,
Right.
some of them have disclosed, like Ayers, you know, he works for Lounsbury, so they could have a client
Mhm.
that comes before, ZBA, but the potential is the same as anybody who works in the building professions coming before the building board, anybody who works in development coming before the building commission. I kinda feel like we just need a blanket letter.
I kind of agree
Maybe
because.
generic, right?
Yeah, just a generic
Mhm.
letter. Brandon Walker is a commercial real estate broker. He's getting on the planning and zoning commission too. He said, he says, he didn't check a box, but he says family owns property. Well, yeah, but I mean, he deals in property, so he would need one too, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like I think they're using a different standard for when they disclose, like maybe just because they're more cognizant, like clearly the Spinell Homes has more projects that come in front
Yeah.
of the, like, more regularly, but all of them have the same potential for that to happen.
So just generic letter.
I agree, yeah,
Maybe not all of them, some of them, like, you know,
right.
Danielle on the Planning and Zoning Commission works for the state, so she has
Right.
no potential, but a number of them do.
Okay, so they have both
Yeah.
elements to where they're in the industry
Yeah, if
and
they're
they
in
are
the
on one of these,
industry and
okay.
they're on
Can I
the
suggest
board?
that we, instead of sending it to individuals, you send it to the board chair and say,
Yeah.
many people here have potential conflicts.
Because they
Here's
work in the
what you
industry.
do.
Yeah.
And you'll see in the rewrite, I've combined a bunch of stuff, I think will be almost a
Mhm.
step-by-step thing to do that
And
we.
then people don't feel singled out
Yeah.
too, especially
No,
if
and
they've
it's
used
a lot of
more-
work
like,
to
some people seem
track
they've
all
just
these
been
people
more
down.
open in
Okay.
disclosing that they might have a conflict.
We've
I
got
agree.
3 or 4 boards. And, you know, in the old days, 8 years ago, the person before me would go to those 3 or 4 boards and do an ethics training. But they're all the same, even the the contract bidding protest board, whatever it's called, I mean, they're all builders on that board.
Right.
I mean, that's why they're on there.
That's, right.
So, by the way, Riswold, you're about to get to him, or maybe not yet. A couple more. You'll see this new board, Pre-Funding Investment Board. It's just a new municipal board, and so you'll see municipal finance people on that board. and it's part of code, it just went into code.
I wonder, should we, these people that we see having all these potential conflicts, should we ask them to redo the disclosure and indicate what those interests would be? I mean, in other words, by accepting these disclosures, do we, as a board, accept that they don't have any of these personal interests that could be in conflict?
Well, maybe they don't have anything right now. I mean, what I mean is, but we foresee all kinds of things coming up in the future.
And maybe they never do. I don't mean to
Yeah.
like doubt their disclosure.
Right.
I just think like really anyone who works in the building profession, right? If you go for a building permit for your project and it's denied for some reason, your recourse is to the building board. So conceivably, you might maybe like these guys never work on anything that comes before the building board. So maybe they don't. I don't mean to question
Yeah.
the veracity of their statement or anyway, but it just strikes me that anybody who works in an industry that's regulated by the board that they sit on has the same potential for someday having a big conflict.
And Terry, I don't think we're saying they don't have a conflict, we're
Yeah.
accepting their disclosure form for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
although that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
But I do think the real issue here is board training, and so the first step would be this letter pending this rewrite, and then it would be our,
Yeah.
uh,
Because what they need to know is that if you have a potential conflict, you need to declare that.
yeah, so that would be the first thing, the letter.
Right.
And then the second thing is once this gets through, and they will try to get this through this, next few months, because they don't wanna wait till April when there's 5 new assembly people.
Oh,
So there's
that's
a
smart.
lot of movement right here.
For
because-
our
yeah,
ethics rewrite?
Yeah,
Okay.
because they don't wanna start over with 5 new people.
No, that's smart.
And so,
Yeah.
so this should move fairly quickly. And then at that point, Tara, I still would love to try to do the interactive video.
Me too.
Let's get that done, because
Yeah.
there's no way we can train 40 boards.
And FYI, Pete Peterson, the chair of the Assembly
Yeah.
Ethics and Elections, came to my desk yesterday and sat down and said, "Where are we?" So they're chomping at the bit for it.
Now, they have a meeting next week that
Mhm.
I'm going to? Okay.
Hopefully with.
All right.
With draft in hand?
Yeah. Okay. With a really great cover sheet, maybe, or some paper and some.
Really nice,
Could
like
bring
a
some
report
balloons.
form,
Balloons.
yes.
I have to bring balloons to
No diagrams, though. Not
We
not
can
on the
do it
cover
up in a
either.
nice little, have
Yeah.
graphics do a nice little, scene.
Well, we could do that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cover.
Well, that would be funny if we started putting little smiley faces in the code. Arrows.
Or frowny faces.
Right.
Yeah, we were
That's-
prohibited.
Little
Yeah.
tears
Yeah.
are all
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
constitution.
Be a Bitmoji.
Right.
Thumbs up emoji.
Yeah.
A really angry emoji.
Angry
Right.
emoji.
It's called a progressive rewrite.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thumbs up. all sorts.
All right.
You'll receive your decision from the board via Twitter.
That's right.
Can you imagine some of the discussions then, right? So like, so when you saw the frowny face in the code, didn't that
Right.
indicate to you that you shouldn't do
Right.
Hey, that's what the state has, you guys.
I have a quick question about, so if you're employed by the school district, there's no conflict serving on a municipal commission, right? I mean, because it's not technically,
It's not employment,
The city.
right.
Mm.
okay, I'm just.
No, but no-
We talked before about municipal employees serving on boards and commissions.
Oh, I see what your point is. Which one is that?
I'm just looking at, Brandon Locke, who's on the Sister Cities Commission.
You know, you're absolutely right, though.
I
I
don't
mean,
see any, like actual potential for conflict, but we had
Yeah.
talked about whether it was appropriate for municipal employees to serve on municipal commissions, and
and
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know if
add
we
that
consider
to my
school
list
district
today. That's,
employees.
well, they are municipal employees, probably, I mean, there's enough distance, but if you took Julia's strict construction, that employees are not board members and board members are not employees, under her analysis, now
Yeah,
that's
they're
gonna
not
come up
serving two
today,
masters
but
being-
let's,
It seems like it rules out a lot of people for,
Oh, yeah.
potential board membership if we extend it to the school district in a way where there's not an actual appearance of
okay,
conflict,
but let's address that today,
just a-
when we go through it.
Okay.
My little sheet of things to address.
Your notepad.
On my finger right here. Okay, so let's address that. I think that's a really good point. My recommendation is you let it go through for today, because we just don't have that rule in place.
Right.
Where
Yeah.
that would.
I just-
But that's excellent, yeah, Becky, that's exactly right.
There's one yellow.
One yellow?
Mhm.
This is interesting too, the Carrie Van
Oh.
Dyke.
So are we, let me
No,
just
still-
clarify so I understand. There were several people in that last stack who we thought should get a letter. Which letter are we gonna give them? Or are we gonna give out, what did we decide about? Sending a blanket letter to everybody on those particular commissions?
boards.
No,
Or-
I think you should just send it to the commission chair,
Okay,
and ask them
Okay.
to pass it out and read it, and that there may be.
And I would say Ziba, planning and zoning.
yeah.
And what's it called,
Building
building
board.
board under there. Is there any other board or
There's
commission
a-
where there's
So,
a
and
lot of
not send
industry
one to-
representatives?
There's an urban design one
Oh,
in
yeah,
here.
UDC, but doesn't UDC only consider public projects?
Okay.
Does it? I mean, is anybody else
I'll
before
take that off
UDC
the
except,
thing.
I thought it was only school district and
Seems
MOA
as that's all they
projects.
do, but I
Is
don't
that
know
the
if that-
jurisdiction of the UDC?
I don't know.
And everybody who's on there right now, I don't know the current makeup except for
I don't know.
Ed, because I know him personally. I mean, I don't know, I defer to you guys on, I thought the jurisdiction of the UDC was just public projects, but if it's broader than that, I haven't been for many years.
Well, and they meet far less often too. They're not,
Yeah.
it's like sort of some type of appellate function.
You can just hit those big ones.
So let's hit the big ones now, because really, hopefully, once the code rewrite goes through, there's a
Yeah.
step process and then an interactive video.
Okay.
And those
And-
seem like the most likely conflicts. right?
Yeah.
And then there were a couple that had specifically said that they,
Right.
you know, that Ayers and Seward, that
Right.
will send the letter to
Do
directly.
we want?
And Ayers, I mean, I think that's, to be honest,
Oh, he's
this,
plating, Stewart is plating,
Yeah.
maybe we should send it to plating as well.
Plating?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely, Claudia.
Yes.
the Ayers one, this is what I think a lot of these people's disclosures should actually
Should look
like.
that's
I mean,
right.
It doesn't
I thought-
disqualify you from being on the board.
No.
He says, look, my company does work in matters that come up before
So
this board.
something
so I
may
think-
happen.
I think we should maybe make an effort to get people to be filling it out this way.
Right.
I mean, because I do think that
And that-
there's a little bit, because I do think that when we accept this, I do think we send the message to people who really do have interests in matters that come before their board, that we've accepted the idea that they don't.
Can we
And so
not-
in their minds, they don't have potential conflicts of interest, because they don't
You
have
might be
interest
right.
in matters that come before.
One thing we
the
might
board.
consider is when we do pass these to the chairs of these boards and commissions, that we let them know that we want people to be filling these disclosures out like heirs. That doesn't disqualify them from the board. But then, how do you address those potential conflicts
Well,
coming up?
But see, to me, that's a training issue, and that should be
Sure.
on the video, or,
Sure.
um,
No,
Yeah, but also
absolutely.
there's some fine lines too, you know, it's like, well, if you're a partner in Lansbury
Right.
versus like if it's an employee, but personally, I think the line is kinda like your company does business in front of the
Right.
board, it's good to know. You should flag that if it comes up, but.
you know, and we really may decide in the future that those 4 big boards, because they do so much, deserve real training.
Right?
And I think the deputy before me did that on those few major boards, or if any board requested
That's a
it.
good idea.
Yeah.
Especially because I feel like we've decided that we can't bar people who all.
No, we're not gonna
The nature of the
micromanage.
board is we want people on there who
That's
have
right.
experience as in the applicable industry, and that by nature of that, we're gonna end up with some conflict, so. We can't bar all developers from planning, it would,
Right.
and all engineers and all architects, like.
So, apologize if I'm beating a dead horse. Do we want to send a letter directly to Mr. Ayers and the other one, or do we want to just do the general letter to the chair? How do you feel?
I'm fine either way. I think a general letter to the chair
Okay.
saying, you know, we've noted that several of your members have potential
Yeah.
conflicts of interest.
Okay.
And
Does
so
that work
just
for you,
to
Becky?
remind you that.
Yeah, I would rather do
Please
that
distribute
because-
this and make your members aware that whenever, you know, here's what the standard is.
I think that's in
that-
line with what we're intending to do going forward with the rewrite and the training. Does that work for everybody?
And that's right, yeah, and
Okay.
then maybe, this year when we pull things together, and you're right, maybe those particular boards we should actually visit sort
Okay.
of in person.
Does that
and
make sense,
say-
Lisa?
Mhm.
Okay.
And I think it doesn't make a distinction between people who, you know, use different standards in their disclosure, like just
Mhm.
treats everything, so.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, intent to respond. I can kind of read this. Did we talk about this already?
No, this
No.
is new, but it could be the same old thing.
Laura Phillips?
Quirk, Mary Quirk.
Is the,
So this is one who, if you think it's
Construction.
familiar, she has filed these before, but it is a new filing.
it's a new filing, but we've
Mhm.
approved it in the past?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. Is there anything different about it? Let's see.
Anchorage School District.
Cornerstone General
Because
Contractor.
Cornerstone does do a lot of work for the school,
Mhm.
but
student nutrition.
Oh, God, so she's a nutritionist.
That's what she is.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
Her
okay.
husband works for, is
Oh.
on
Oh, that's-
own the
Okay, I
house.
don't have a problem with this. Does anybody else?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. All right. So that means so I will move because I can, because I feel like it, to approve the consent agenda. Any objection to approving the consent agenda with the exceptions or with the comments that we've made so far?
No objection.
Hearing no objection, we will approve the consent agenda, and then let's go on to, let's see, new business is the next meeting for the Ethics and Elections Committee is next Wednesday, I believe, right? It's on my calendar. I expect to be able to make it. If any of you want to join me, you're welcome to. Dee, you're going to be there?
I'm not sure, but I'll plan to.
Okay, all right. If this is a little, hopefully, assuming we can get through this today, then I would like to carry something with me to the meeting.
So
Which
it's
would be
potentially
nice.
a big meeting.
It's potentially a meeting that if any of you want to come and have input, then you are absolutely welcome. I will plan on being there unless something comes up, and I'll let you know, but I'll plan on
What
being
time
there.
is the meeting?
Noon.
Yeah, okay.
And typically, they're very good about calling us first and getting us out early.
And it's probably not gonna be the meeting to discuss
No.
individual topics, although they might have an interest in. I think they'll meet once or twice, but then they'll set it up for a work session.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't imagine that they won't have like a barrage of sort of general questions, you know.
Yeah.
But I think, like you said, they'll probably set up either a joint meeting or a work session
Yeah.
at that meet, or you
Wait
I'm-
know.
for the assembly.
No, this is not, I am not gonna discuss the individual provisions. I just wanna say, with the balloon,
Yeah.
have at it. The ball's in your court now, essentially, is what I want to be able to say.
And I don't know if they'll care about whether we have, Julia sits with that committee a lot, whether they'll care about, what do we see as process, and the only issue still to me, but I think it is their process now at this point, is
Mhm.
that, when do you open it up to the press?
Sure.
Or other stakeholders, which,
Sure.
like the ombudsman.
And that would be their discretion
That'd
at
be
this
their
point.
decision, so.
So I'm
And we
happy
wouldn't have a
to,
recommendation, it's
Right.
your process.
so I'm happy to field those questions, but if you guys wanna show up, you're welcome.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, if you don't think it's that great, I've got class at 11:30, so I'd have to cancel class to do it. So if you think
No,
it's a critical
no,
meeting,
no,
or
no.
I'd be
No,
really-
I don't think it's gonna be
I'd be willing
substantive.
to-
No,
Okay.
I don't expect to be substantive. It's only if you feel the need, because we put so much work into this and you wanna help present it, that's all. But no.
I would think if they end up setting up a meeting where they want to meet with
Mhm.
you all about it.
Right,
that
if
would
they
be
wanna
more
talk
important.
about the substance of it, then that would be a different, that's not gonna be next Wednesday. No, I wouldn't do that without everybody at least having the opportunity to be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because I won't be there then, if you don't mind. I won't
No,
cancel class. I'll
that's
save-
fine.
I'll
No.
save my class cuts for,
No.
my cutting class.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Schedule of regular meetings. We put this off until today, I believe, in part because you were not here at the last meeting. We did not want to start scheduling until we knew your schedule. Do we want to set up some meetings now?
Sure.
Are you available to do that now? Let's look
My
at the.
calendar.
Yeah.
And
We would like
Let me
to
go
go
grab
back
my
to a monthly
calendar.
meeting.
What, monthly?
I know.
The Board of
Got
Ethics
used
doesn't
to
meet
seeing you guys
monthly.
every week. For a while.
We actually, toward the end of last year, were so busy with other stuff. Remember that we went through about a 3 or 4 month period of time where,
It's just one special meeting
Yeah.
after.
When was this?
maybe it was in the fall, it was before the rewrite where maybe it was the end of last spring or something, where we
Yeah.
just seemed to have so many
Yeah.
things coming before us.
Well, 2 years ago, when I first became chair, we had like 4 or 5 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had a lot to clean up, I
Yeah.
felt like. And we
Well,
did
I
that.
remember we had a couple of active investigations going on, and so
Yeah.
we were actually making special meetings to meet with people, and then we
Yeah,
started business.
and
like,
we
you
were,
know,
and we were
regular
pushing
business.
things out the door, which was really good to get that stuff cleaned up. And then this last fall, of course, we were busy. Yeah. I'll be curious for the annual report, how many meetings we've had this year. I don't know how many we've had.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't know it, but it filled up the whole page. Usually I have a whole bunch of like little blanks over here
Right.
we don't use. I mean, it was just like
Yeah.
right down to the end. I was stressing whether I was gonna have to expand my
Reformat,
Excel
yeah.
spreadsheet and
Yeah.
reformat everything, so.
Yeah, and if, that'd be great if we do the annual report, whoever presents it to the assembly can finally say, here's your code.
Yeah.
Right? Here it is on a
Well,
silver
that's
platter.
definitely gonna be a major little
Yeah.
piece in it, so that's
Yeah.
something to be proud of.
Yeah. Okay, so,
What day is good for you?
yeah, what day is good for you?
Oh,
Let's start with that, because yours is the most potentially conflicted and also the most regular, in a way.
Well, it's true, yeah. Yeah, what day is good for me? Monday, Wednesday, and Friday
Okay,
are the best days
Okay,
for
for-
me, and I have class on Monday and Wednesday from 11:30 to 12:45.
So those are good days?
those are the good days?
Those are the good
What?
days, yeah, because on Tuesday and Thursday I teach from basically 1 to 4.
Oh, okay, tell me again because Wednesdays would probably be the best.
Yeah, Fridays are bad.
Does
for me.
that work okay for you,
Okay,
Becky? A
sure.
Wednesday? We have to pick a time on Wednesday, but,
So I have a standing meeting every other Wednesday
At what time?
1.
and what time are your classes, did you say?
I get out at 12:45.
You get out at 12:45 and you have a meeting at 1?
Every other Wednesday.
Do you prefer to have your mornings before classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays? You said the classes start at 1.
Yeah.
Do you take those mornings to prepare for your
Yeah,
afternoon?
that's
Okay,
the
yeah.
thing, yeah, for
Um,
both those classes, for all those days, it would be, afternoons would be better than mornings.
So
for me
let's
for
try,
next
let's look at
semester.
Friday. How does Friday look for you? What is your schedule that day?
Friday's typically wide open. I
Oh.
have an occasional department meeting in the morning.
Yeah, my Friday
but-
is open too. I would happily do a lunch on Friday.
Okay.
If we could start at like 12, because I have pace deadlines, and Fridays mornings are hell
Okay.
for me.
Okay.
So maybe like start like 12 to,
Okay, does that work?
1:30 or
Let's try
Right,
it.
That's perfect.
That's
And then
fine.
can we still get sandwiches?
Yes.
If we start at 12?
Yes.
Oh, right on.
The
I was
really
looking at this
important
thinking
part.
you're giving up your lunch and you may
Critical
not get
things,
it
right.
back if
Oh,
you
yeah.
I
do
like
without
my
for
little
6
lunch from
months.
Urban Greens once a month.
I know, me too.
Okay, so let's tentatively schedule,
Okay.
what, the third Friday? That seems to work. Okay.
Third
I don't know
Friday.
why the third of each month seems to be a good month.
So we meet February 17th.
and can I, I might be able to try to figure out which Friday is not
Yeah,
pace
that's right.
deadlines.
Now that's,
Get
Um,
in there now while
but
you.
that-
I hate to do
that
this,
varies.
but that
It's,
17th.
no, it doesn't. It's the Friday before
I
the,
may not be
the,
available.
or 2 Fridays before the meeting, okay? So, for instance, if we did the third
The main
Friday,
baseline is right after the assembly.
right after the assembly, right. So if we did third, that would be right after the assembly.
Oh, okay, but we're
So-
starting at noon, so that's okay.
It's okay?
Yeah, because we're starting at noon.
Okay.
My deadline is always noon.
And then the next month it's just, we'll see, it's gonna change.
Oh, it's gonna
because
change,
It's
yeah.
gonna change, so.
Okay, so okay.
The one caveat is that my February is because of this grand jury. I think that conflicts for this particular February. What is it? 17th
17, if it's the third.
is the third. Would it be possible to do it on the 10th, just for?
And that would
which
be
was
good
the-
for me, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, the 10th.
Can we
would be
do it the
better.
10th, just in February, and then go back to the third week of the month for March, April, May?
We could do it the
Whatever.
second week of the month.
Oh.
It's gonna be.
Mine's gonna
our-
change,
Yeah,
yeah.
ours is gonna change, so it doesn't matter.
Okay,
I
second.
have no problem with that. I
Okay,
think
February
I'll-
10th, great.
Okay, is that
Wait till
okay?
the 5th for
Okay,
that.
so we'll do it the 10th.
Yeah, it goes back and forth, D. Every
Okay,
other
okay.
one will have that agenda deadline, so, but if we start after 12.
And is it at 12? Okay, all right.
Well, and the other thing is, Lisa doesn't work on Fridays.
Oh,
Oh, every other Friday I don't work either. I'm on that blue.
980s.
the 980s?
Yeah.
So we'd have to figure out that.
But it doesn't
schedule.
matter, I'll come in. and-
No.
No, yeah.
I
No,
can-
we just can't do that, so,
Yeah.
but all that means is you figuring out what your every other Friday
Right.
is, so we do this.
Okay,
on a
because
month-
Friday doesn't matter, we'll figure it out and I'll send
Yeah.
out a schedule. It might be the second, it
Let's
might
do
be the
that.
third, it
Second
might
or
be
third,
the.
okay.
That's fine with me.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine with me.
Depending on each month, whether second
As
or
long
third
as
is
I have it
fine.
on my calendar, I don't care whether
Okay,
it's regular.
okay.
or
Because if
not.
it's not, then I'll completely blow it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
me
it
too.
has to be on my
Okay.
calendar, otherwise forget it. Like,
Yes.
I will send out a
Okay, so
semester's
that's
worth
Yeah.
of Fridays, okay?
We'll be out of luck.
That's right. If you send me a date and it's on the calendar, I'll be here.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. But we'll plan on tentatively the 10th of
February,
February.
yep.
Does it, and-
Yep,
Okay.
first 1/10.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Annual report. What is there to discuss other than
This is
that
gonna be
we
just
have to
as
do it?
easy as we've gotta
Yeah.
do it, just start thinking of some ideas for it.
I will do it.
Okay.
I mean, I'll work on it, and then you can help me.
Mhm.
And last time, what was really helpful is we kind of just shucked the earlier, because we had just been kind of adding another paragraph for years. Last year, we just chucked the whole thing and started over from scratch, kind of in a way.
Okay.
I think, though, that this year we could build off of that format again.
Okay, so by our next regular meeting, I'll give you a template
Perfect.
to start working with, and if you
Perfect.
guys can start thinking about what topics you'd like to add that you
Yeah.
think stuck out for this year.
Okay.
So,
Well, but last year, didn't we, it was very, we did a summary of the stuff that we decided, right?
Yeah.
And you did that.
we did
Yeah.
2 years worth.
And that was, so, but if we did it just for this year?
Just for this year.
Can you do that still, or
Mhm.
not?
Yeah.
Because I'm not, I don't know whether the bright ideas we put in there, you know.
No, what you did last year
So
was
I'll come up with
Perfect, I was gonna
ideas,
say.
and then, but
Yeah.
you've still got your sort of chair letter that you do at the
Yeah.
end, summary
Yeah,
kind
if you
of
could
thing.
start it for me.
Okay.
I
then-
think that would really, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because what you did last year was just phenomenal.
Perfect.
Okay.
No,
It
that
was
was the
perfect.
meat of it, so.
And can we put pictures in?
Yes, and
I like the
memes and-
pictures. You know,
Emojis
you,
and
no, you
memes.
laugh, but when I had presented to the assembly, you were there, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, they liked those things.
Oh, they did.
They thought it was, they were grooving on the pic, they thought it was cool. And so,
A perfect report to them is 2 to 5 pages long. with
That's right.
pictures.
that's right.
So, I mean, seriously.
That's a good report to any
I
of us,
know,
let's be frank.
I know.
We're like, I'm
Take that out of the
35
recording.
pages worth, like-
It's, but it's absolutely
Yeah,
true.
but it's true. They
It's
get all this
absolutely true.
stuff. You gotta see their books that they have to
Yeah.
take home every other Friday.
So let's plan on something with that
Okay,
structure.
all right.
But so I think most of it would be your reporting,
Yeah.
the little summaries, us reviewing
Yep.
the summaries.
That would be
That's it.
perfect. And then we can
And then
add
the code rewrite, I
a
mean,
little
how much
section
more
about the
could
code
you-
rewrite. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay.
Keep it simple.
Okay.
There's no reason to create a Supreme
Mm.
Court brief on this.
No,
No.
absolutely not.
Okay, got it.
And
Okay.
the other thing is, to the extent Lisa and I can help with that, taking
Yeah.
some time away. I mean, you guys all are private, so.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Any other comments or questions before we move back into the code rewriting? 6. So we're going back to 6.